Right guys, right, we're going to go through the heavy sport section now. First we're going to go through the Talos. The Talos is weapon skill 5, plus skill 3, strength and toughness 7, 3 wounds, initiative 4, 3 attacks, leadership 10 and 3 plus save. It is obviously a monstrous creature, and war gear wise it's got armoured carapace, which obviously gives it its 3 plus save. It's got 2 close combat weapons, so obviously its attack characteristic will be 4, not 3. Also armed with a twin link splinter cannon. I won't go through what the splinter cannon is. I've described what it does before. Options. Now you can take an additional 2 Talos for 120 points each. So obviously 1 Talos 120 points. If you want to max out the squad, so you're going to be 360 points, which is a lot of points. But that is 3 monstrous creatures you've got in the squad running around the table, so it can be quite nasty. Any model may replace one of its close combat weapons with one of the following: chain flails. Now, chain flails, I believe, gives it the shred ability. Yeah, melee shred. So that's not too bad. Obviously, rerolling wounds, but you know your strength 7 anyway, so you're going to be 2 wounds, so I'll probably save the 5 points. I can have an A-core injector. The A-core injector is strength is user, melee fleshbane, and it is a lethal dose. So any 2 wound roll of a 6 by this weapon causes instant death. Again, that's not too bad, but it is 10 points. Being strength 7, AP 2, with 4 attacks, 5 attacks on the charge. Again, it's something I wouldn't really worry about. If you've got spare points, by all means go for it, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. One of the things you can take is a twin link liquefier gun. I've described what liquefier does in previous video, but I will quickly go over it if I can find it quickly. There we go. Okay, so it's template weapon, strength 3, APD 6, assault 1. Basically you roll a d6 every time you use it, and that is the AP of the weapon. So that's 15 points. But you can replace the twin link splinter cannon with one of the following. So you can replace it with a stinger pod. So let's have a look. Stinger pistol, stinger pod. So it's range 24, strength 5, AP 5, assault 2, blast. So that's not too bad, and that is, what, 5 points. You can also replace it with a twin-linked heat lance, which is where it starts getting a little bit more interesting, really. Heat lance, here we go. Range 18, strength 6, AP 1, assault 1, lance, melter. So for your melter to take into effect, you're going to have to be within 9 inches. Lance, so you're going to be 2d6, having to beat 12, and you're already strength 6. So having to get more than 6 on 2 dice, which is more than likely going to happen, but you have to be within 9 inches. That's going to be the downside. What I would actually take would be a twin-linked Haywire Blaster. Haywire Blaster's range 24, strength 4, AP 4, assault 1, Haywire. Your ballistic skill is 3, so you're hitting on 4s, but because it's twin-linked, you're obviously re-rolling your misses, and you're basically pretty much guaranteed to glance. Haywire is probably the best way to go for Dark Eldar. Obviously Dark Lancers are really, really good, but if you've got a good chance of hitting, obviously you're hitting things on 3s for pretty much all Dark Eldar. Strength 8 Lance, so 4s to glance, 5s, 6s to penetrate, and then you have to roll on the penetration table. Whereas Haywire, you hit and you're pretty much glancing, as long as you don't roll a 1, but 1 in 6 chance of rolling a 1, it will happen. But I still think the Haywire Blaster is the best way to go. How to kit them out. Now, I've never actually used a Talos. I've seen them used in games, and they seem to work best in squads, rather than them just floating around the battlefield by themselves, going up to vehicles and using their smash attack, because obviously being a monstrous creature, they're only having that 1 attack against vehicles, so it's not, you wouldn't really have it as a vehicle hunter. You'd have it as a infantry hunter, and if it's got nothing basically if it's got nothing better to do, you're shooting at it, shooting at the vehicles with your haywire blaster. So you're basically getting into combat as quick as you can. Special rules wise, it's fearless, but it's monstrous creature anyway. Feel no pain, so it's always got that 5+ feel no pain, which is always quite nice. And like all standard Dark Eldar, it's got night vision. Where these definitely come into effect, I've been speaking to a friend about it, is actually if you use the Coven, the Homunculus Coven supplement book, where you can actually take a squad of 5. It's the only time you can actually take more than, obviously here it states you can only take up to 3 in total. In the Homunculus Coven you can take 5. And those 5 get a special ability which basically makes them scout, so they all get the scout ability, so they all get the free move at the start of the game, which is really, really nice, so you're all automatically 6 inches closer to your enemy. And they also have an ability to negate -1 leadership from the enemy within, I think it's within 12 inches, which is also really nice. But like I say, you can actually take 5 Talos. And the best way to kit them out in that formation is giving them all haywire blasters. So you've got 5 haywire blasters in that unit, just basically moving, trundling up the battlefield, and basically whatever they get into contact with, they're going to kill. So that would be a really good way of using it. It's a bit, obviously, it's a bit spammy, but you know, it'd be quite good to use. There is another formation that you can use in conjunction with that, which would make it horrendous. I will go into that, but obviously I'll come into that when we get to it. So obviously this is my Talos. He's not painted, for the simple fact that I haven't had time to get him painted. I've had a couple of Talos kits lying around, obviously, because I've done my grotesque, so I've marked him out with 2 chain flowers, but like I say, I won't bother with the chain flowers. I shall just keep them as normal close combat weapons. I just think it looks, looks quite nice really with 2 chain flowers. Right, next we'll go on to the Kronos engine. So this is my Kronos engine. Again, I've had a number of kits lying around. So for this one, I've actually used this part here is the tail for the Kronos, but I've actually used it as the arms because I've had 2 spare ones, and I actually think it looks more. I think it looks better like this, to be honest, because it's it looks more. If it grabs you, you ain't going anywhere, kind of thing, and is literally going to tear you to shreds. Yeah, I just think it gives it a little bit more, makes it a little bit more dynamic, really. Right. The Kronos engine is 100 points, and for your 100 points you're going to be weapon skill and ballistic skill 3, so you're not as good in combat as the Talos, but you're still a monstrous creature though. You're strength 5, unlike the Talos, which is strength 7. You are the same toughness, so you're toughness 7, you have 3 wounds, you have initiative 4, 3 attacks, leadership 10, 3+ save, which is all the same as the Talos. You're a monstrous creature. War gear wise, armoured carapace, that's what's give you your 3+ save. Spirit siphon, let's have a quick look what Spirit siphon does. Spirit siphon is a template weapon. It's strength 3, but it's AP 3 and it's assault 1. So obviously you've got to be up close to use it. Strength 3, obviously 5 to kill marines, but it's AP 3, so you will be killing marines. And that is it. That's literally all it comes with. You may take additional 2 Kronos at 100 points each. Again, I've never seen these used in games. If you're going to take one of these, either the Kronos or the Talos, I'd probably recommend the Talos. For the simple fact that it's raw punching power. That is toughness 7, 3+, 5+ feel no pain. It's good in combat. It's got a haywire blaster to shoot stuff. So, but the Kronos is good if you've got enough points to take 2. So you can take a squad of these and a Kronos. I'm going to tell you why right now. Any model may take one of the following: a Spirit Probe. Now this is why you would take a Kronos, basically. So let's have a look. See, Spirit Probe is up here. So Spirit Probe, all friendly models. All friendly units, with both the Dark Eldar faction and the Feel No Pain special rule within 6 inches of a model with this spirit probe receives +1 bonus to their Feel No Pain. So for example, your Feel No Pain would become a 4+ rather than a 5+. This is cumulative with any other modifiers Feel No Pain, but you cannot improve it better than a 4+. So it can never be a 3+, unfortunately, which would be horrendous if it could. It'd be good, but it'd be horrendous. So that's basically why I take it. You have these little Chronos guys floating around the battlefield close to your units that have got Feel No Pain. So if you imagine your Chronos close to a unit of Grotesques. Now just to clarify one thing, it states unit. So if one model, does it say unit? Yeah, friendly unit. So if one model is within the 6 inches, the entire unit benefits from it. So yeah, so one of these guys with your Grotesques, your Grotesques are going to get a 4+ Feel No Pain, which is really, really good. The other thing they can have is a Spirit Vortex. Let's have a look. See, Spirit Vortex. Spirit Vortex. There we go. Look, I missed it. It's 18-inch range, strength 3. It's AP 3. Assault 1, large blast. So you're going to get your big pie plates. You are ballistic skill 3, so you've been if you scatter, you'll be obviously taking 3 inches off it. The only downside is you're 18 inches. That's the only downside is its range. It's strength 3, but it's large blast. So unless you're against Marines, you're on 5s, but you will be killing them on them 5s. Everything else, Tau, Imperial Guard, some Tyranids, you're going to basically going to be mulching them, and that's also 25 points. Now the Chronos, how I'd use them is definitely, if you're taking a Chronos, you're definitely taking a Spirit Probe. But it's that simple. So I don't even know why they made it 100 points. You might as well just make it 125 points, all the time, because there's no point taking a Chronos without a Spirit Probe. So you're 125 points. The best way to use these is by taking, if you've got the slots to use it, 2 individual ones floating around the battlefield, buffing up your other units. The other way to use it is by taking one of the formations from the Homunculus Coven supplement book, which basically is, as a unit, you take 1 Chronos, you take 1 Talos, and 1 Homunculus, and that is a single unit. Now you can't usually have a character joining a unit of monstrous creatures, and you can't usually have these 2 monstrous creatures in the same unit, but because it's a formation, they are classed as 1 unit. So obviously you're going to be taking a Chronos with a Spirit Probe, Talos with a Haywire Blaster, and a Homunculus as a unit. It doesn't really matter what you give the Homunculus, but if your Homunculus is your army warlord, he gets his warlord trait from the formation, from the Homunculus Coven formation book, means that any friendly model within 12 inches that rolls a 1 on the Feel No Pain, they can re-roll it, which is massive, which is absolutely huge, because if you've got these guys running around the battlefield supporting another unit, so you'd say Grotesques, the Grotesques are going to have a 4+ Feel No Pain because of the Spirit Probe on the Chronos engine, and they're going to be re-rolling 1s, so they're only going to be failing on the 2 and a 3, so the odds are that you're going to be passing them and you're really going to be annoying your opponent. The other thing that me and one of my friends were talking about is having your Talos Chronos Homunculus combination. I can't quite remember the name of the formation. Someone will hopefully someone will remind me what it is, because I've not got the book on me at the minute. If you have that formation running round with your 5 Talos, that formation, that is just horrendous. So you're going to have 6 Talos on the board floating about. All your Talos are going to have 4+ Feel No Pain, re-rolling 1s, and it's just the thought of it makes me want to try it but never use it, because it would make my friends not friends anymore. I think there'd be a lot of tears and a lot of angry people involved, because obviously you'd have 6 haywire shots as well, from your Talos. And the other things as well you can think about is if your homunculus, the way you kit him out, if you give him a webway portal, you can actually deep strike your homunculus and your Talos and your Kronos anywhere on the board, so you can actually teleport them. Obviously when they arrive via deep strike, you can actually put them anywhere you want, which would just be, really not very nice. And obviously you can kit out your homunculus with different arcane war gear as well. That's what I'd try and do. Competitive wise, I probably would say that these two aren't very competitive unless you're taking them as that formation. In 1,500 points, I think I managed to work out that you can have your 5 Talos, your Talos Kronos homunculus combination as your primary detachment, and then you can have a stock Archon Inner Venom, 2 units of 5 Carbolite Warriors in Venoms with blasters, and a Razor Wing Jet Fighter, and I think it comes at about 1,400 and I think it's 1,420. So you've got about 80 odd points to faff about with, really, to spend on bits and bobs. That's a 1,500 point. That would be a dirt list, I think. I mean, you've got your Razor Wing Jet Fighter to sort out enemy flyers. You've got your Talos just killing stuff. And you've got your Venoms just to sit at the back, laying down like support fire, killing enemy troops and things like that. It'd be something really cool to try, but obviously I've only actually own 2 Talos models and 1 Kronos engine at the minute. I will probably buy another 4 Taloses, for the simple fact that I would like the thought of just seeing that on the board would look cool, but I would lose a lot of friends from using it. But I'd like to try it at least once, whether I can play an opponent and just use other models just to like a count size model, just to try it, see how it goes. But if people have tried it, please comment and let other people how it went on. If you lost any friends, it'd be quite interesting to see how everyone else got on with it. So what we'll do now is we shall go quickly on to the Ravager. So this is my Ravager, which is very nicely painted, which I had commissioned up for me by Striking Scorpion 82. So thank you very much for that, buddy. He's done a really good job. He's commissioned up quite a few of my Dark Eldar for me. I have painted some myself, for the simple fact that I couldn't quite afford everything to be commissioned up. I would usually paint models myself, but having a job with funny hours and a young family and things like that, it doesn't really give me much time to paint stuff. But it's I don't mind having things being like this commissioned up, because they just look absolutely stunning, and he's done a brilliant job with it. So thank you very much for that, buddy. Right, Ravager, 110 points. Ballistical 4, it's front 11, side 11, rear 10, 3 hull points. It is a vehicle. It is a skimmer, fast, open-topped. So, yeah, fast, open-top skimmer. War gear, it has 3 disintegrator cannons. Disintegrator cannons, I have gone over them before, but I'll quickly just breeze over them. Range 36, strength 5, AP 2, heavy 3. So you've got 3 of them, so you will be 9 shots, hitting on 3s, strength 5, AP 2. That's not bad, really. If you know against Terminators. If you're against vehicles, obviously it's no good. It has deep strike, and like all other Dark Eldar, it's got night vision. You may replace the disintegrator cannon with a Dark Lance for 5 points. So you can have 1 Dark Lance, 2 disintegrator cannons, or you can have 2 Dark Lances and 1 disintegrator cannon. The best way, how I find it to go, is you you have, it's all or nothing. So you have 3 Dark Lances. So 5 points each, 15 points for your 3 Dark Lances. Dark Eldar vehicle equipment, I'm not going to go over that because I went through that with the Raider video. Basically, the only kind of upgrade you're going to want for this, if you can afford it, if you want to take it, would be your, I think it's your Night Shields, for the simple fact of making you stealthed when you jink, so giving you a 3+, 3+ jink save. Night Shields, yeah, 15 points. And obviously, if you decide not to jink, you're going to be at least stealth, so you're going to get a 6+ cover save. Tournament wise, people spam the hell out of Ravagers for the simple fact they're 125 points, 3 Dark Lances. It's a mobile platform, because it's a fast skimmer. You're going to be moving 12 inches and shooting 2 at full ballistic skill. Obviously, the other one will be snap firing if you want to move 12. The fast. The only downside is obviously it's armor 11. But if you're playing Dark Eldar and you're expecting it to be more armor, you play a different army. You're playing Dark Eldar because you like the fluff. You love the models, which I personally think that they are some of the best models Games Workshop have done. That they're probably one of the best armies, I think, visually. Like I say, tournament-wise, people spam the hell out of these. They are really, really nice. I myself have used, always try and fit one in the army. I'd say try and take at least one if you can do in competitive or friendly games. Really, having them Dark Lancers really does help. It only takes it only takes 1/6 on a vehicle damage table to kill whatever it is you're shooting. Which leaves me to the Void Raven Bomber. So this is my Void Raven Bomber. Which is very nice. It's a lovely, lovely model. Nice big model. Almost a centerpiece, really. Yes, it turned out very well. Obviously, don't want it just to drop off the stand, which would be really annoying. The only downside to this model I found that the guy in the cockpit, he actually didn't sit right. For some strange reason, he actually sat too high. I don't know whether it's a fault of the model or what, but I ended up having to shave off top of his head so the cockpit hatch would actually go on. Other than that, it turned out really well. So very happy with that. Leave that there. Right, Void Raven Bomber, is 160 points. It is ballistic skill 4 and front side rear armor 10, 3 hull points. Basically a razor wing jet fighter, really. Vehicle type is a flyer. War gear 2 Void Lances. Now this is where you're paying the extra points for this flyer, really. So page 106. Yeah, this is where you're paying the points for it. Void Lance is range 36, so exactly the same as the Dark Lance, but it is strength 9. That's the big difference. AP2, Assault 1 Lance. So where your Dark Lance is a strength 8, you'll be glancing on 4s, penetrating on 5s and 6s. This you're going to be glancing on 3s, penetrating on 5s and 6s. And although it doesn't sound that amazing, but trust me, it really does help. If you're rolling 3s to hit, you're going to be penetrating at least 3 out of 5, 1 out of 3 shots. It's early in the morning. So yeah, them Void Lancers are really good. Also comes with a Void Mine, whereas the Razor Wing jet fighters come with missiles. This comes with a Void Mine. The Void Mine, strength 9, AP2, bomb, large blast, lance. It's one use only. So if you're flying over a unit, a large blast, AP2, and it's also a lance. So if you fly over a squadron of vehicles, bang, that squadron is going to get proper proper hammered, or a unit of Terminators, or a unit of monstrous creatures, or whatever. It's strength 9, AP 2, large blast. Downside is obviously it's one use only. God, if it had 4 of them, that'd be brilliant. Like the missiles, but obviously it's only got the one, I'm afraid. Options for this. Also, special rules. Sorry, night vision or Dark Eldar, supersonic, so it can basically, when it goes flat out, it can go a lot quicker. Which can be quite handy for if you've got no viable targets. You can quickly zip off the board. Your following turn, you arrive back onto the board. You'll be able to position yourself a little bit better. Especially if there's an enemy flyer on the board. I have used that before, and it really did work. It seems to work quite well. It's quite effective to use, really. Now this is where it starts to get a little bit more expensive. It may take one of the following. It can have up to 4 Shatterfield missiles, 2 Shatterfield missiles and 2 Implosion missiles, or 4 Implosion missiles. The Shatterfield missiles are 40 points. You get all 4. It's not like 4 lots of 40. The Shatterfield missiles and the Implosion missiles are 50 points, or the 4 Implosion missiles are 60 points. Are they here? Implosion missiles, strength 6, AP 2, assault 1, blast are 1 use only, so they are your Terminator killers. Implosion missiles, they'd be really nice to take, but it's 60 points for 4 Implosion missiles, so you'll be looking at 220 points for a flyer. You're getting on for a Stormraven gunship, and I'll probably say that the Stormraven gunship is better because it is a flyer, skimmer, armor 12, hull points like you wouldn't believe. You kit them out right. You've got las cannons, heavy bolters. It's very pricey, so you want to be keeping this cheap. You want to be keeping it slick. Shatterfield missiles. Shatterfield missiles are strength 7, large blast, shred, 1 use only. So reroll into wound for shred, I believe. Large blast. So against hordes, yeah, it'd be great. But you're piling points into this, and you don't need to be doing it. If you want to take a Void Raven bomber, you're basically keeping it stock for its points. Now here it says you may replace both Void Lances with 2 Dark Lances for free. Why you would do that, I don't know, because the Void Lance is better, and it's free, so it's not like if you got a refund on points, it'd be alright, but because you don't get a refund, then there's no point. Also, you can take Night Shields for 15 points. Night Shields increase your Jinx save to 3+, or gives you a automatic cover save of 6, basically. Competitive wise, I've not seen many people take Void Raven competitive games. Competitive players usually go for the Ravager for the simple fact that it's Dark Lances. Fluff wise, yeah, Void Raven is nice. I am playing a game pretty soon against Striking Scorpion. With Striking Scorpion. I will be using it because, for the simple fact that it's a nice model and I just want to use it, why not? The game that me and him are playing, I'm definitely not taking a competitive list at all. I am taking what I like the look of and things like that. That's just basically what I like. If I was going to take a competitive list, it'd be a bit of a dick move, really. And that is it, really, people. So that is literally all the heavy supports I've gone through. I hope the videos have been helpful. If you like what you've seen, please like, subscribe, and share the videos. It really helps the channel out. So thanks for watching, and I shall see you guys next time. Toodaloo.